Hello, my name is Cody and this is my flight scenario presentation. So we first start off with the trip. The trip is planned and made with a friend. We're flying a 172 from Jacksonville to Sarasota. Um, we have to do that because the FBO that we need to take our instrument written exam is closed due to construction, so we have to fly to Sarasota. Um, so the trip is planned so that we depart Friday, same day as our exam, and returning that following Sunday with some time to hang out and enjoy a little vacation in Sarasota. Um, the trip totals about an hour and 45 minutes of flight, and we're supposed to arrive at 1600 Zulu, which puts us at about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So the trip also includes a Bravo transition, in which I'm not too keen on. Haven't done them enough, so I'm a little nervous about that. Um, and my friend, he owns the aircraft and he's got about 20 hours experience in it, and I have no experience. Although we've both flown 172s for majority of our time in our flight training, so we're familiar with the aircraft, but not necessarily the equipment that comes with his particular aircraft. Trip planning was made so that we arrive the same day prior to our exam with enough time to take the exam. So for me, when I was planning the flight, I had 6 hours or less of not the best sleep due to cramming all the information and knowledge needed for the exam the night prior and taking um, practice exams. I ended up getting a 73%, which means I'm really close to the threshold for failing, as the threshold is 70%. Um, so that late night studying and everything has made me groggy and tired and waking up late the next day. Um, but I'm optimistic because I have coffee, hoping that it'll wake me up and make me feel better for the flight ahead. The aircraft again is a 172. My friend's been flying it about 20 hours he has under his belt in that particular Cessna 172, but we have both a cumulative over 200 hours in that aircraft. Um, just not that specific aircraft, and I've never flown it before. Um, so it could be different. It could have different equipment in it that I'm not familiar with, and that I haven't familiarized with myself with before doing such a long flight such as this cross country. Um, and the aircraft itself, I'm not even sure if it's been evaluated to handle the type of flight that we're going through, as far as distance and airspaces that we're traveling through. So that's a key factor that we have to look into. Also, the environment. So that's the biggest thing in my book, is that obviously has summertime in Florida has thunderstorms every day, usually in the afternoon, but sometimes in the morning. Um, and when dealing with the weather the day prior at work, I just shrugged it off due to, it's typical that Florida has these thunderstorms, so it was nothing really to look into. And that's a major red flag. It's always pertinent that you check your weather um, prior to any flight. The METAR is showing heavy afternoon thunderstorms with hail, and winds as well are showing very heavy due to convective activity from these thunderstorms. Again, this is in the afternoon though, so we plan on flying prior to. External pressures is that well, we have to take this written exam for the instrument, and it's all the way in Sarasota where we decided to go because our FBO was closed. So now we've planned to do that. Problem is we plan to do that the same day as the written, and that's a problem because you pay a fee that you can't get refunded and you can't really reschedule. So now we're having the pressure of getting there on time and being prepped and ready to go for the exam, which is at I believe it was 1600. And I've woken up that day, the day of the flight plan and the flight itself, or to do the flight planning, which has pushed our departure time forward, which means we'll more than likely come across these thunderstorms that are going to make major issues for us. Um, and the written exam, it's got to be passed in order for us to pass the class at Liberty. So that's another pressure that's forcing us to have to get to the FBO, have to take the written exam, and have to fly that day, which is not good. It's a big pressure on our shoulders. The prior night, again, was spent cramming the 5 hours worth of studying as well as practice exams. And not getting to bed till 2 o'clock in the morning really made it hard to get up in that morning, which I woke up late. So these are all huge factors that led to what could be a very potentially hazardous flight with thunderstorms and trying to cram everything and get their itis. So that's just not a good factor. I wouldn't personally take this flight. I would have to reschedule this flight and do better planning for it. Everything has been so condensed, and the planning for it wasn't done correctly, and it's just not a good outcome if they were to proceed with the flight. So.